right on the dot. Whoops. Okay, everyone, welcome to the call tonight. We are so excited to have Michelle Mimic, the coach from home office, on with us, and she is going to share with us just some key things in helping grow our business and helping with natural attrition and how to start the month strong. So we are thrilled to have her on, and this is just a combination call of a lot of different Joels. So Erin Harrison's team and Stephanie Abrams and Amy Paul and Marion Mann and a lot of different ones. So we love that we can all group together and do this call and utilize Michelle. She is the Western Region coach, and I'm sure she'll tell us a little bit more about all that. So Michelle, go for it. We want to hear all your wisdom.
Okay, I'll go for it. Thanks, Liz. Well, yeah, I absolutely love partnering with everybody that you just said. I think I work with just about everybody. So Stephanie, yourself, Amy Paul, Mary McMahon. I'm sure you said more names in there, but I've already forgotten like half of them. You have such a big team. We were talking about that earlier, which is absolutely incredible. And so the leaders that you guys have are awesome. So some of this might just be third-party validation, right? I'm sure your leaders are talking about some of these same things, but maybe in just a little bit different way. And it's always good to hear things from other people, right? Maybe I'll say it a little bit differently, and it'll help you to understand it a little bit different way. So what I do at the home office, I'm a coach, like Liz was saying. And so what that means is once you become a senior Ruby and up, and sometimes you'll find that coaches will reach out to you even if you're, silver through Ruby. We like to reach out and just talk to people who are growing in the field, people that your leaders are saying that are doing an awesome, awesome job. We love to reach out to as many people as we can. And is another reason that we love doing Zoom calls and connecting with you guys. So I help them with their business, help to look at what's happening in your business. Everyone's is going to be a little bit different, but for the most part, I'll be able to see trends that are happening throughout the entire field. And so I work with the western half of the United States, which is most of the Western states like Mountain Pacific Time, Alaska, Hawaii, but I also work with all of Canada and then Australia and New Zealand. So I'm also the international coach. And obviously we're going to be opening up Canada at some point in the future. They might get another coach when their region just gets to be so big. But across all of those businesses, there's a few things that I see time in and again on things that are doing really well for some people and areas that people can grow. And so the first thing that I wanted to talk about was going to be the 4 pillars. And so some of you, I'm sure, have been on some of the Zoom calls with the coaches, the power hours. If you have or if you haven't, I'm going to kind of go over a little bit something that they talk about. And it's something that you're already probably doing in your business, and you just don't realize that you're doing it that same way, right? We're just going to define it a little bit, and it's going to be able to help you to see some of the areas that you might be able to improve. And so I don't know if this is going to be backwards or not. Yeah, it's totally backwards. So I'll just read it, and I'll send it out to Liz, and she can share that with you guys. And it's just the 4 pillars. And so the way that we think of it, and I'll actually show you this little picture right here.
It's not backward for us. It's not backwards for us.
It's not backwards for you? Okay. So these are the 4 pillars, okay? So if you think about like Greece, right, we have the Parthenon. We have these pillars, and there's these huge stone blocks, and it's still standing today, right? Out there, because the foundation that it was built on and the way that it was built, right? And so it has structure, and it was built to last, right? And we're out there, we're building a legacy business, and so you want to build it on something that's going to last, right? And so we have enrollments, retention, duplication, and then leadership development, right? When you're doing all things really harmoniously, your business is going to be growing, but not everybody is perfect. Sometimes we really focus on one thing, like, hey, I'm just going to knock it out of the park this month, and I'm going to get like 10 enrollments, right? But how is your retention going to be with those 10 people that you're having to follow up with the next few months, right? That's going to be a lot of work. So it's just about learning balance and what you can do with your business. So for enrollments, just make sure to play to your strengths, right? So if your strength is that you're a really yellow personality, like I used to think that that was totally me, but I'm green and then yellow because I love numbers and data. But I love to share with people, and I love to help people. I'm that helper, right? And so if that's your strength, and maybe it's not about knowing all of the details, share your story, right? Go out and do what feels natural and what's going to be able to help you. Whatever helped you to have success in the beginning, don't stop doing that, right? If that's what helped you to be successful, why would you change, right? I mean, your life is going to be different. You're going to have more stories, but continue to go out and share those same things that helped you in the beginning. Retention. Control what you can control, right? Convenience orders are by far the number one thing that's going to help you to retain the people that you're bringing in. You're doing so much work, so much follow-up with these people, right? And asking them to say yes to something that's going to change their life. And convenience orders are part of that. So one of those things that I see, business after business, right? Regardless if you're in Canada, Australia, Minnesota, California, Hawaii, doesn't matter. Most people, if they have a convenience order rate, okay, of 70% or above, and it's not 100% for every team, right? It's a bell curve. Some people will have a little higher or lower, okay? But the majority of teams are going to be right in that spot where if you can get 70% of the people you bring into your organization to have their convenience order on, your business is going to grow, and it's going to grow far outside of your attrition. People who have a convenience order on are 85% more likely to have an order the next month, 2 and 3 months down the road. People who don't come in with a convenience order, because we hear that, right? I mean, I say 70%, and I'm not saying 100, right? We know that not 100% of people will say yes having a convenience order, but they're willing to try the products, right? Those other people that come in without a convenience order are only 10 to 15% likely to place a manual order. And it goes down by half each month until they drop off, right? You'll get like 1 or 2 people who will be left, but only about 10 to 15% of those people. So we ask them, right? We ask them to try these products, but we should also be asking them to make a commitment, right? I don't think for any single person ever in Plexus that they said, absolutely, I took the triplex for a whole month and my gut health was perfectly like normal and everything was great and I went through zero detox, right? That doesn't happen. We know that with these products, with natural supplements, it will take 60, 90, 120 days, right, for them to see results. So we have to set that expectation that it doesn't happen overnight, that it's a journey, and that we want to be there for them, right? So have them make a commitment that it's going to be worth their while, okay? Duplication. So duplication is something that we talk about when we look at your team, okay? So we're going to see how wide your team is all the way down, essentially, right? So if you're a gold, you have, let's say, 5 level 1s, 6 level 1s, okay? Do you have 12 active level 2s? Do you have 24 active level 3s, right? You want to be able to teach the people that you're coming into your organization to be able to do the same thing that you're doing, right? If they want to have that same level of success, we have to go out there and teach them how to duplicate the same thing you're doing, right? They might have something on their own that they're really strong in, but teach them something else that they can learn to help to support their business, okay? And then leadership development. I'm sure you guys have probably all heard this, and this is something that we talk about a lot at home office, but the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack, right? Sometimes when we get to a place when we're in our business, we might go into what a lot of people will call manager mode, right? We're like, okay, well, this person is doing this and this person is doing that, and I have to help them with this, and I've got to help them with their follow-up here, and you're going like 10 different directions, right? Well, what's happening to your business, right, your direct business, is that it's either stalling, and at some point, it's going to start to go backwards, right? And your downline, it's going to be doing really well, but those people are responsible for their business. You can be a support, right? You're a leader, but you still have to focus on your own business, right? So constantly engage with your level 1s and the people that you brought in and that came to you for this business. And don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone a little bit, right? That's how we grow. I don't know if I don't think I have my book right here, but John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. There's a law of the rubber band. And I don't know if all of you or however many of you are going to Leaders Retreat, and it's going to be super exciting to hear John Maxwell speak. Literally every book you could quote. There's nothing that he writes that isn't great. But in that one, he talks about the law of the rubber band. You have to stretch a little bit, right? It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but when you come back, you're going to have stretched a little bit, just like a rubber band. And that's leadership development, right? We're going to grow a little bit at a time. Sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's definitely going to be worth it, right? So we have a new incentive this month, which is super exciting. we have, and I'll send it to Liz. I'm going to send a link out. We did a call this morning with our senior rubies and up, and we showed it. We showed the planner. So you guys will get to see like a little sneak peek of that, which is super exciting. It's really, really beautiful. And this incentive for this month is to earn the planner by getting 2 new ambassadors with welcome packs and 2 new preferred customers with an initial 75 PV order. And we know that the incentive this month is more about building your business than earning a planner, right? What this incentive does for you is it helps you to grow your business and it helps you to grow a pipeline. You're going to have 2 people with an initial 75 PV order, right, that we're going to be following up with, and that those people could potentially become ambassadors down the road. It could be next month, 2 months, 3 months down the road, right? But that's essentially what we're helping you to set up this month. That's the biggest reason for having incentives like this when we have you bring in new people. And so what I would say to that is make sure that the people that you're bringing in are qualified to be an ambassador. And what I mean by qualified is somebody that's ready to start working their business. Maybe you have a customer that's already been taking the products. Those are the people who are ready to already start talking about them. From day one, they're ready to go out and talk to every single person about it, right? Sometimes we get those people who are like, oh, I probably won't talk to anybody about this at all, right? I want to try it for sure, and I want to get the best price, but I'm not going to have that conversation, right? And we hear that happens. So for those people, the best option for them is to become a preferred customer, right? So we have that conversation. That's fantastic. The best price for you is going to be as a preferred customer. But I just want to let you know, because we talked about the business, when people come and ask you about what you're doing differently or how you're losing weight or how you're feeling so much better and they notice those changes, please let me know. I'd love to do one of 2 things. If you're ready to work the business because you're talking to them about it, I'd be happy to help you upgrade and show you what this business can really do for you, right? But if you're still not ready to work the business, I'd be happy to do something for you for that referral, okay? So I've done 2 things here. I've talked to the person about the business. I've created a fear, right, of missing out on the business opportunity. And I've asked this person for a referral, right? All in one sentence. Okay? So don't be afraid to have those conversations or to qualify people or to tell them no, right? Say, okay, I understand that you don't want to work the business. The best option for you is, right? Let's make it positive for them. If this person decides that they don't want to take the products after 30 days, right? They've paid $34.95 and there's no value in it for them at this point, right? They have to order 3 to 4 months in a row of getting just like a single bag of Slim or ProBio or just a single solitary item in order to make that back. If they had signed up as a preferred customer and had their convenience order on for that same product, they're going to earn that back once they start getting their 10%, right? They're going to essentially get that ambassador price. So we want to make sure we're putting people in the right bucket. So when we start to reach out to people that are in our downline and talk to them about the business, we know that that was their intention.
That's awesome. I love that.
You're welcome. And then the last thing that I wanted to share was, because we have this incentive this month, I know sometimes we like to do our own little team incentives, right? We like to talk to people about, okay, well, if you guys get the planner, then I'm also going to do something extra for you, right? To try to see if we can push people a little bit more or see if we can get them to bite, right? To see what more we can do to entice them. There's a TED Talk, and it's called The Puzzle of Motivation. I actually just watched this. I just happened upon it a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. His name is Dan Pink. Again, I'll send her the link. I'll send Liz the link so she can share it with you guys. But what he says in a part of the talk is about incentivizing people. That incentives are great, okay? When you have something to do to grow your team or to grow a business, to have some kind of incentive. So when we provide something for you from the home office like this, right, it's not something that's astronomical for a lot of people, and it's not too small either, right? And there's actually a study done by the U.S. Federal Reserve that said that small to medium incentives, right, with a small to medium reward, produced the most growth in a business. When you pile something extra on top and make the stakes really high, your productivity goes down. Okay? So when we provide you incentives like this, to Lacey, the TED Talk is called The Puzzle of Motivation by Dan Pink. like pink drink, like pink. So the productivity goes down, okay? So when we give you an incentive like this, we want you just to focus on that. Don't try to do anything extra, right? We don't want you to have to invest more into your business than the time that it's going to take to mentor and talk to these people, to go out and to do your follow-up. Because we know that if you're able to grow your team, if you're able to get this, 2 or 3 people on your team are able to get this, right? If you're a silver, if all 3 of your active ambassadors were able to do that, how close would you be to halfway to gold the next month? If you're already there, how close are you going to be to gold? Right? If you're a gold, think about that. Think about if a third to half of the people on your team were able to earn this incentive, what that would look like. Right? If your average pay point is like probably around 4 to 5 for people who are in that silver to gold, senior gold range, that is a huge impact on your business the following month. And so that's what this looks like. It looks like how you grow your team all the way down, how you help people to rank advance, how you go out and create a pipeline. And so I just wanted to give you guys those little words of wisdom on ways to talk to people, how to qualify them, make sure we put people in the right bucket, and that we're listening, that we're actively listening to people to make sure that we get them the best possible value for their time and their efforts and the energy that we're able to give back to them.
Wow, that is fantastic, Michelle. Thank you so much. So I am a little yellow, so I don't quite understand all the numbers. Would you mind touching on that again? I know for our green people, and just to kind of write that down again, like as far as, attrition goes and, the convenience order.
Yep. Okay. So most teams attrition, and this is, some people will be a little lower. Like I saw one today, that was around like 24%, which is pretty good. Okay. So that's a number of people that are dropping off every month from the previous month before. Okay. Most people are going to be in like the 30 to 35% range. You might not be that high when you're like a silver or gold, but as you increase in rank, you'll see that your attrition's a little bit higher just because there's a sheer volume of people. Okay. And having a 70% convenience order rate, which is about double, right, outside of your attrition, is going to help you to grow. Okay. And then for people who have their convenience order on, so if I take a list, okay, let's say you add 100 people in the month and 70 of them have a convenience order. Okay. Out of those 70 people, 85% of them, their order is going to process the next month and for at least 3 months down the road.
If they have their convenience order.
If they have their convenience order on.
Wow, that's a big percentage.
It's staggering. It's a huge difference.
Wow.
And so on the opposite end, those extra 30 people who didn't have one on, about 10% are gonna go in and place a manual order. Okay. That's, I mean, if I was a betting kind of person, I would definitely bet on convenience orders. Yep. Because that's really where it comes from. How are people going to be consistent, right? These products are brand new to them. This process is brand new to them. Okay. It's not a habit for them like it is a habit for us. And even though it's a habit for me, I forget things sometimes too. Okay. I'm pretty organized. I write everything down in my planner. Okay. I set timers. Things happen. Life happens.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right. And so having that convenience order on is helping to just get a regimen started, right? Making sure, and this is something that I've always suggested to people, and it was a little bit more when our shipping was a little bit slower, which it's like phenomenal now. Like within like an hour or two, you already have a tracking number, which it didn't used to be. But I would still suggest on their first convenience order to do it about 3 to 5 days before their month, okay? So let's say that they signed up today, right? You would want it to process, I would say, on the 1st instead of having it process on the 3rd so that it's in the next month. Okay, but most people are going to come in between mid to end month. So if they sign up on the 15th, have it processed on the 10th. Okay, the reason for that is kind of twofold. One, because you're able to have this conversation with them about getting them set up for success and to get their commitment. And the second is going to be so that they have a little bit of an overlap, right? If we're setting up expectations with people, honestly, regardless of what they're taking, unless they're only buying like body cream or e-cream, right? If they're taking our supplements, they're going to go through detox. Everybody will. Even people who started the new Slim that changed over from the original Slim went through detox. Okay. I think most of us know, I see lots of nodding, right? And so who wants to do that twice?
Definitely.
Oh, no hands. No hands. Okay. Nobody wants to do that twice, especially when they're brand new, right? So let's make sure that we get them set up so that they don't have any gap in between. Okay? So that we can tell them, I want you to be secure in how many products that you have. And you might even pass them off to some people because people are going to be asking you. I definitely want you to have a little bit of an overlap on the first order that you get. After that, you'll be solid.
That's awesome. That's great tips. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And with the new back office coming very soon, that's going to just the wording. And I mean, from what we've seen on that, like subscription versus, the changing the wording. So people are more used to that. People are used to the word subscription. So that's really going to change a lot, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And I keep going back and forth. I don't call auto ship anymore, which is good. I usually say convenience order, but that's something that you can probably even start changing now, right? We know that the new back office is going to be coming soon. So that's something that you want to start working on and just like write a little post-it, right? And put it somewhere when you're like messaging people, subscription, right? Or when you're talking to people. And just tell them like, it's going to say this for now, but really it's just your subscription. Because sooner rather than later, you'll have a new back office and that's what it'll say.
Yeah. I love that wording. That's so, on all the different websites that you are part of, that you order stuff from, it's subscription, or, and so that's a very common word that people
it's a little less scary for people.
Yeah.
Liz, one thing that I've started doing when I talk about the convenience order, I have changed that already because I really love that wording. Mm-hmm. And so I'll say, you've got your subscription. It's just like Amazon. You can edit it whenever you want. You have that. And so when you can compare it to something that everybody uses all the time,
that they trust.
I mean, who doesn't have Amazon? And then you have the subscription where you save like 2 cents if you order this every month or every other month. But being able to say that and have the comparison, people are much more, they're like, oh, okay. And they understand it. Mm-hmm. So when you can have an example, I found that people are a lot more confident in what they're doing. And I love some of your verbiage. Michelle, I wrote it down.
Awesome.
Just how these products are new to you. They're not, a habit like it's to me. So having your subscription on is really going to help you establish a good regimen. And it was good. It's really good. Awesome. So thank you.
Yeah. Stephanie, did you ever look at too? I'm like, ooh, okay, I'm sold.
What, Liz?
Did you want to add anything else? Did you have any more questions you wanted to ask her?
I don't think so. Honestly, the thing that just, I see people that join and they don't have they don't have their convenience order. They don't have their subscriptions on. They're not sharing that and establishing that as they grow. And I just want to tell people, like, you are shooting yourself in the foot so much. Qualify your people before you sign them up, because I have been there. Okay. I think we all have, where we're at the beginning and we're like, but I'm really trying to get to silver, but I'm really trying to hit gold. But this person, just from dealing with them, talking with them, they are not ready to commit yet. So if they sign as an ambassador and then they don't do anything the next month, or maybe they order for another month, but then they drop off, okay, you have a white line in your back office. They have not really gotten to experience what Plexus is about because they didn't commit to long enough. And they spent that extra money that they didn't need to because they should have been a customer. And then down the road, and I've had this happen, people will be preferred customers 2 or 3 months, quit. And then down the road, they're like, okay, I really liked it. And now I'm ready to, do this. So just grow with that integrity and what is best for people, not best for necessarily your team right at that moment.
Totally. BBBs are really exciting, but I don't think $25 is worth burning a bridge. For sure. Or for having somebody avoid you, right? We want people to trust what we're doing and create that relationship. So you're absolutely right.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I was listening to, I think it was Sarah Robbins. She has a call that she's talking about leadership, and people, they quit more often than not, people quit a person, not a product. So if your relationship with them is really good, okay, maybe the timing isn't right for them, but you still continue that relationship. They still had a good experience with trying the products, even as a customer. They are not going to be one of those people who are like, oh yeah, my friend writes me out of the blue and then she wants me to buy her product. I haven't heard from her since, kindergarten. And then I try it, didn't get anything out of it for that 2 weeks. And, now I haven't heard from her since. Okay. I think we've all heard those stories. That was not a good experience. So just working on the relationships, working on being that person that you would want to buy from, that's still going to like you and is still going to talk with you, even if, you tried it for a week, or, oh, you did have die off and you're like, I really don't want to push through that right now. And you're like, okay, that's all right. Let's work with you, what you can do. So anyway, that was just really good with qualifying your people. And when they are ready to commit, explaining that subscription, getting them on there, because that is where you are going to have the true growth in your team. You can sign up 5-10 people a month, but if they don't have their subscription order on, just like Michelle was saying, those numbers should scare you. They should scare you because you will never get anywhere fast. And you are creating duplication. You are creating a duplication of when they tell their friend about it or so-and-so, or they eventually think like, oh, I want to tell a few people. They're going to tell them, oh yeah, you don't have to have that on. And then they're not going to grow. They're not going to see any results or get a check either. So that was good. Anyway, I'm done.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, that is really good. I know Carl's going to love hearing the numbers and everything with that. So did anyone have any questions?
There's a couple that came in there.
Okay.
So one person, I think I already answered the question about the TED Talk. So I think they got that. But again, I'll say it. It's The Puzzle of Motivation by Dan Pink. So just go to TED.com, Puzzle of Motivation. The next question was, when is the new back office coming? That's a great question that I don't have the answer to. And if I did have the answer, I don't know that I'd be allowed to tell you. So as much as I want to, we have been testing it. And I know some of the jewels at this point have seen it. It's essentially a test phase, so they can't place orders in it. And if they're running live at the same time, there's a lot of really great features in there. And I'm sure that it's coming really, really soon, but I don't have a date. Somebody asked, does a white line revert to a preferred customer? They do not. And we don't essentially have what's called a graveyard. Most companies will have a graveyard report where it will tell you, okay, here's all the people who stopped ordering. They don't revert to anything. They don't change to anything. But these are essentially all of the people that you have that don't order, right? The best way to do that, if you can, and I know not everybody is like, oh, I love Excel and it's super exciting, except for probably me and Carl. And so, but you can download your detailed genealogy into Excel from the previous month. And you can sort anybody that did not have PV, and then you can sort it again by anybody that does not have a convenience order. That's going to tell you a lot about those people, and then you can reach out and find out what's going on. Okay, so you can do that in your back office. You just download the report into Excel. Okay, it says, I can rarely see tracking on my orders. It moved. Any suggestion on how to fix this? So that's InfoTrax. InfoTrax is the current system that we work in. Sometimes it doesn't communicate to your back office. We can see the tracking if you call into customer service. The fastest way is going to be to send in an email because they're able to just copy and paste it to the person and send it over. So most people can see them now, but if you can't see it, know that the tracking is still being made within an hour to 2 hours of when that order is created and shipped out. So by the time you realize that they don't have tracking, they probably already have it. 9 times out of 10, that's what I see. Let's see. Somewhere I thought I heard that preferred customer would get 10% discount after a certain amount of months. Yep. Yeah, so that's the preferred customer discount. So their initial order just counts as an initial order. When we start counting those 3 consecutive orders, it's as soon as their first convenience order processes, regardless of the products or the price or if they change it, okay? All that our system needs to see is that it says convenience order that has processed, okay? So after their 3 months of convenience order processing, that 4th one, they'll start to get an additional 10% discount. If they turn it off, they will lose the discount until they start up and get 3 again.
Now, Michelle, is that so say I order triplex for 3 months. Mm-hmm. On my 4th month, I add in, can you add products or do you have to like change it? Okay, so say, As you can tell, I was never a preferred customer. So say then the fourth month, I want to add the X Factor. And does the X Factor also get that 10%, that additional 10%?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You could change it to a different product each and every single month. It'll just do 10% off of what the total is for that order that month.
Okay.
I must not have qualified you, Stephanie.
You did not.
Right.
Shame on you. I could still be a preferred customer with you.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any other questions? It's like the most questions I've ever gotten. This is great.
Okay, so I do. So then technically it's the 5th order, right? Not the 4th.
It's the 5th, yeah, the 5th order that they've paid for, 4th automatic. So essentially our system looks for a code.
Okay.
The first order doesn't qualify because of the code.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gotcha.
So,
Okay.
Michelle, do you think that will change with the newer back office, with the new back office?
That's a good question. I think that they're probably going to code it somewhat similar, but I can ask.
Okay, that'd be great, because it would, we try to encourage people, to go 3 to 6 months, to stick with the products for 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And after 2 months, you have 60-day money back guarantee. So if we could, say, on the 3rd month, you get the discount, the 10% discount, that would be really handy.
Right,
Or
right.
your third time of purchasing.
Yeah, your third.
I always understood it was like,
right, in the old system, it did it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the business rules essentially that we wrote into it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess how it should have been, they did it a different way. So
Okay.
yes, if the preferred customer gets an additional, the preferred, and then the additional 10, yes. So they would get their preferred pricing and then subtract 10% from their subtotal before tax and shipping.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for all that you share. And we really appreciate you. You're amazing, and you do so much for all of us. And we just adore you.
Oh, Leslie, you guys are my favorite. I absolutely love it. No, it's been such a pleasure getting to talk to you guys. I hope that I get to see some more of you soon in the future. Keep your eye out for some of those emails that I'm going to send to Liz that she can pass on to you guys with some of the calls that we've had with the leaders, and then the TED Talk link that I'm going to send over to her. Thank you guys so much, and just have so much fun the rest of this month. I know some of you are going to leaders. Whether you're going or not, right, it's going to be about 3 days out of the month. There's so much of the month for you to go out and just reach out to new people and to grow your business with this incentive. So have a good night, you guys, and we'll see you.
Thanks, Michelle.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. Bye.